Hello everyone and welcome back to another Synergises video. We have a treasure map sugo-fest once again with a new legend ace alongside two new treasure map rare recruits, Teach as well as Marco. So of course the discount multis for all three parts, so if you are wanting to just have a small chance without spending a lot of gems, then do the discount multis. We don't know all the legends available yet, but part 2 we have Kobe V2 as well as Cross Guild V2. And then on part 3, Karasu Mole and Memories of Straw Hats Frankie. So I would say part 3 is a teeny bit better. I mean, it just depends on which characters you are missing though. We have no idea about the legends available on part 1 besides Ace. If you are wanting to guarantee yourself one of the new characters, then pull on part 1 and go until multi 4. If you are someone who is like trying to rank top 100, then you might want to do that. But regardless, let's get straight into the abilities. And honestly, this ace and this, like the entire batch, is really good. This Teach, he is excellent, bro. Like, just look at the special. 2 turns of cooldown for Powerhouse and Striker, 6 turns of attack down, reduction, Powerhouse and Striker plus 1250 base attack, a full board of matching orbs, full board of recovery orbs through block, and then he also gives the enemy weakened status, which of course scales up to a 1.69x attack boost if the enemy has increased damage taken. Now, of course, weakened status doesn't go through immunity, so if the enemy has any type of like full immunity or immunity to certain status effects, then weakness won't work. But of course, this treasure map, the final boss and intrusion, they only have immunity to delay, so this will work, of course. Pretty good here. We have great utility for both attack down and special rewind, of course giving a lot of cooldown. Even if you don't get special rewind, you get a full board of matching orbs that you can use to negate the hunger stacks, and also you get a base attack boost, and then the enemy a weakened status. Now of course you do need to have 3 or more whitebeard pirates tagged units. If you are using Teach himself, that's already 1 character, so you only need 2 more. Unfortunately, this entire batch works while having a lot of whitebeard pirates tagged units in the game, but there's not many options here. Like, there's really not many options, because most of the units that actually like are viable, like the level limit break of all the old whitebeard pirate rare recruits, they don't have tags yet. So until that happens, it's going to be very difficult to fulfill that requirement. Like, there's really not too many options here. I mean, you can exclude all the ace characters because the new legend ace is an ace character, so you can't use 2 aces on the same crew. But remember, if you are running double ace, that's 2 units with the tags already. So like, in terms of past characters, there's not too many options, because remember, the Rocks Pirates, they're not Whitebeard Pirates tagged, because even though Whitebeard is a part of the unit, he's not a part of the Whitebeard Pirates, he's a part of the Rocks Pirates. So even though the Rocks Pirates do synergize really well with this new ace, they don't really help in terms of the tags. But yeah, tags are very annoying right now because most characters don't have them. But once they do, it'll be much better. But what's great about having tag requirements is that if you're on a double captain, it counts for 2 tags. But if you have like a requirement for a super tandem or super type or super class, whatever, if it says you have duplicate characters, then it only counts as 1. But for tags, it counts both double captains, if that makes sense. Either way, that Teach, not only is he special pretty good, but the main thing is his crewmate ability. Because look at this, bro. We suddenly have a crewmate ability that can completely resist special rewind on your entire crew. This is like captain utility level crewmate ability. Like, even though most characters don't have their tags yet, all whitebeard pirates can completely evade special rewind, because we very rarely get special rewind of above 2 turns. So having that is just so good. Like, this is one of the best crewmate abilities in the entire game, and like one of the only characters that can reduce special rewind. No, he's literally the only like crewmate ability in the entire game that can reduce special rewind on more than just himself. And then he also has a nice crewmate ability that gives you a lot of damage and HP. That's very cool. Of course, trash captain ability, a super tandem, I guess. We don't really care about that. But the support ability attaches to Whitebeard Pirates. Well, this one's also really good. When inflicted with attack down, reduced by 2 turns, and then gives the supported character a recovery orb, not through block, but there are very few support abilities in the game that gives the supported character a recovery orb. This is very important because when you get hunger stacks, then sometimes you need something like a support ability to just give you a recovery orb, especially if you don't have any other characters that can provide recovery orbs with their special or have the potential ability to negate hunger stacks. That's a very good support ability. 2 turns of attack down and hunger stack reduction through a recovery orb. And it attaches to all Whitebeard Pirates tagged units, so characters like Halloween Ace, who are still very much used in content, they can have access to this amazing support. So Teach is looking really good. Of course, he has no rumble abilities. I was hoping maybe he'd have something good, since recently rare recruits have been getting some good rumble abilities, but unfortunately nothing here. Then for Marco's also the entire batch is Strength Striker Powerhouse. So the exact same thing as the Rocks Pirates, exact same class and type combination. Now Marco is going to have Super Tandem Boost. Of course, this is really good. Super Tandem Boost is going to be a ability that stacks. So having multiple Super Tandem Boost characters on your crew allows your Super Tandem to become much stronger. So Marco's captain ability, of course, trash. His special is much worse than not much worse, but it's not as good as Teach's, I think. He gives himself a tandem orb through block. He's going to reduce special bind by 6 turns on the crew, reduces all enemies threshold by 6 turns, and then boosts your chain by plus 1.3. And then if you have if your health is at 20% or more when the special is launched, and you have 3 or more Whitebeard Pirates tagged units, including Teach himself, so only 2 other units, then he's going to reduce damage taken by 80% and then give you a 1.5x chain multiplicative buff. So of course, with a never mind, okay, but it's a 1.5x chain boost, chain multiplicative boost, and then a chain boost of 1.3, so very good on the chain front. But if you have a HP of below 20%, then you get a 1.75x chain multiplicative buff, which is really good from a crewmate from a rare recruit character. So this character, like in terms of the orb manipulation, it's whatever. Either way, it's gonna allow you to get Super Tandem, of course, but the utility is really good, and the amount of chain buffs you get is really nice. So honestly, I was saying Teach is better, but I mean, this character is really nice. And then look at that crewmate ability, bro. Reduces Whitebeard Pirates tagged units special bind by 2 turns. I think Corazon might be the only other character that does this. 2 turns of special bind. We have crewmate abilities that reduce the entire crew's special bind by a turn, but not by 2 turns. Teach's one is much better, I must say, but this is still really good. I'm pretty sure Corazon is 1 turn of paralysis for the crew and then 1 turn of special bind for the crew. Yeah, it's only 1 turn. But yeah, that is a really good crewmate ability, and then he gets himself an extra 8 turns of special bind reduction. So you can use his special to negate special bind, of course. Marco look absolutely amazing. Chain boost, very big chain multiplicative buff. You get damage reduction. I don't know why the damage reduction is if you have more than 20%. It would make more sense if you got damage reduction below 20%, because you're like trying to survive, you know. But I guess not. Doesn't really matter too much. Great utility, great damage, and allowing you to access Super Tandem with a Tandem Orb through block is really nice. But his support ability is also really good. He's one of these. When you tap a perfect on the supported character, 1 turn of threshold reduction. Very good. Not many characters in the game do this, and those units are very much used in a lot of content. But this one's even better because it attaches to all Whitebeard Pirate tagged units. So once again, using the example of Halloween lore, you can use this character as a support ability and just get an extra turn of threshold reduction, which is so nice. This one is, I think, the most versatile of these supports in terms of the amount of characters it attaches to. So both of these characters have really good support effects and excellent crewmate abilities. Also pretty good special abilities. But Ace himself, what is Ace gonna do? So Ace, this is the character you want to run as double captain. He synergizes really well with Rocks Pirates in multiple ways. I said that the Rocks Pirates not being tagged as Whitebeard Pirates does hinder them a bit in terms of their synergy. But there are many other factors that make this character work so well with Rocks. One, Rocks Pirates gives a very big orb boost. Ace gives a very big attack boost. Number two, they don't have any type of clashing with their utility abilities. So there's no redundancy when you use these guys together. Number three, Ace provides 0 orb manipulation, but Rocks Pirates gives a full board of matching orbs. Number 4, Rocks Pirates gives a territory for striker characters onto the field, and then Ace provides a territory for strength units. So you can stack multiple territories and they work really well together. Number 5, Rocks Pirates' X Super gives strength unit super type and a striker unit super class. Ace provides a striker super, a powerhouse super class. So these two together give themselves super type and super class for both of the classes. Ace can also be used, his super class can also be used as a sub, as a crewmate, so you can use double Rocks Pirates captains with sub Ace. So there's a lot of synergy happening here, and honestly, if this guy comes out and I somehow get my hands on him, then I'm definitely gonna have a showcase of hybriding him up with the Rocks Pirates. But as I said before, you want to be running Ace as double captains because you get the most value there. The reason I say that is because he has utility in his captain ability to reduce 2 turns. Oh wait, this is his... Yeah, his captain ability allows you to reduce 2 turns of paralysis and despair on the crew. And of course that's very low, but if you're on double Ace, it's 4 turns of paralysis and despair. You stack that with those crewmate abilities that reduce a despair by a turn, or paralysis by a turn for the entire crew, alongside maybe one support character. You can reduce all the turns of paralysis and despair. But not only that, Ace will also reduce burn by 99 turns and convert it into a attack boost for 3 turns of 2.75x. It says 4 turns here, but after the preemptive ends, then it will become a 3-turn attack boost, but it can still last over multiple stages, so really nice. But what does Ace do in his captain ability? He starts off as a 5.25x attack booster, but he goes up to 6.3x if you have 3 or more Whitebeard Pirates tagged units and the enemy has ignited, which of course he inflicts the enemy with burn in his special through immunity. So the tag requirement, as I said before, there's not many tagged units with Whitebeard Pirates. But remember, if you're on double Ace, that's two Whitebeard Pirate tagged units already. So you only need 1 unit. So it's really not too difficult, and you get very, very good utility. 4 turns of paralysis and despair with double Ace, 99 turns of burn as well as instant burn removal, converted into a massive buff that will last for multiple stages. He also is a overall solid captain, giving a 1.25x HP. 3 of the 7 natural orbs counted as beneficial. He also makes strength orbs counted as strength orbs a bit more common, which I mean is whatever. But overall, only thing that's missing here is cooldown, but besides that, this is such an amazing ability. Yeah, I mean, 3 debuffs removed as a captain. This is like top tier utility, guys. But then his special is gonna state that it's gonna oh yeah, so his special, this is quite complicated, but it's so powerful. Another reason you want to be running double Ace is because you want to use specials. You want to use his special twice in the same turn. So if you're on double Ace, you can use both of his specials, and then you can get all these abilities. So Ace's special has a amazing blend of attack boosts as well as utility. The first thing he does is inflict the enemy with 2 turns of burn, and that's going to ignore immunity to all status effects and immunity excluding certain status effects. Unfortunately, if the enemy has like immunity to just burn, then this will not go through that. So unfortunate, but it's very uncommon that that happens, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. So inflicting the enemy with burn, that implies that we can get around resilience already. Then he's going to cut crew's HP by 99% and deal as non-type damage multiplied by 30 to all enemies. So wave clear, but also he gets around stun for the entire crew by cutting our HP. So there's another form of utility that's implied. Then there's 4 turns of burn and bind removal, which is low, but if you're running double ace or use a special twice, then that's 8 turns of bind and burn removal. So very nice. We have 4 gimmicks that we are getting around: resilience, stun, burn, and bind. If crew has an attack up status, okay, first off, if you don't have an attack up status, you get a 2.75x for 3 turns, so the same thing from his captain ability. But if you do have an attack boost active, you get a 0.3 increase in it, so it goes up to 3.05x if you're using the attack boost from Ace himself. He's also going to give a damage reduction based attack boost that scales at 10%, gives you 0.1 added to the damage reduction based attack boost, so a 90% damage reduction, a 1.9x attack boost. Then if you use Ace special in the turn, so if you use Ace special for the second time in the turn, whether it's from running double Ace and then using both of them in the same turn, or by using Ace special twice in the same turn through his cooldown reduction abilities, either way it will activate a territory that is applied to the enemy or applied to the field for strength type units. So if you have 6 strength units on your crew, you get a 1.5x attack boost, which may seem low, but remember, territories can stack. So as I said, this will stack with the Rocks Pirates' territory, which can be very, very nice. Besides that, if you have 3 or more characters with the tags of Whitebeard Pirates, Mythical Zone type, and the Roger Pirates, then he reduces his own cooldown by 13 turns. So even if you're not running Ace as a double captain, you can still use his special twice in the same turn. But the reason I say that it's best to run double Ace is that it's only 13 turns of cooldown that you get. If you don't have Ace Limit Break expanded, his cooldown for his special is 16 turns. Very, very high. There will still be another 3 turns of cooldown remaining after this cooldown reduction effect. Now, the good news is that if you're running Ace as a crewmate, he has this effect that states that if your captain, who is a strength, powerhouse, or striker unit, uses their special, it reduces his cooldown by 2 turns. Now, of course, that won't get Ace special ready if you don't have him expanded, because his 16 turn of cooldown, his special gives you 13 turns, so he goes on to 3 turns of cooldown remaining. If you don't have him expanded, even using that crewmate ability, you'll still have 1 turn of cooldown remaining. So you'd have to use an external ability to give a turn of cooldown to Ace, which just overcomplicates things. So I'd say either have Ace's expansion, which gives him 1 turn of cooldown, allowing him to get his cooldown ready with his crewmate ability, or just run Ace's double captains. That's what I'd say. It's way too much of a hassle trying to get his special to activate twice as a crewmate ability. So just run double Ace, use his captain special twice, and that'll get all the effects: the attack boost, the damage reduction based attack boost, the territory, everything. You get all the utility, 8 turns of bind and burn removal. Of course, as I said before, stun removal as well as enemy resilience negation. A lot of great effects here, but it's very difficult to use him to his full abilities if you're running him as a crewmate. So just run double Ace. Also get all that extra utility from running double Ace, getting the 4 turns of paralysis and despair removal. But yeah, overall I'd say Ace is really interesting and really strong. And as I said before, I listed all the things that makes him synergize really well with the Rocks Pirates. But what about his superclass, which, as I said before, can be used as a crewmate? So to proc it, you need 3 characters, but it's a very good pool of units. All of the Whitebeard Pirates, in addition to Luffy, which is of course very common, Sabo, Junpei, Yamato, and Roger. So it's very easy to proc. Of course, you have access to all the level number broken, old recruits of the Whitebeard Pirates. And this ability will allow you to wave clear, dealing non-type damage to all enemies, gives the enemy a minus 10% resistance to strength units, and then also gives the crew a 1.75x overrideable ore boost for 1 turn. And of course gives your powerhouse units super class. Honestly, this is quite a terrible super class. I mean, only time I can see myself using it is for wave clear. But really, besides that, this is very weak, especially for how like hefty the condition is. You need 3 of those units. I just don't think it's worth it. But as I said, it synergizes well with the Rocks Pirates, giving the powerhouse superclass in addition to the Rocks Pirates' Striker superclass and Strength super type. As for his last type, he is a final type unit, same requirement as his superclass, so quite hefty, but not too hard to achieve. At level 1, it's going to give you a 0.2 times damage dealt in the turn by striker units as extra damage at the end of your tapping. So, of course, at level 5, you want to have this maxed because it's a 1.0x, essentially doubling the damage you deal. And this is one of the best final type abilities that a unit can have. So, very, very strong. But at level 1, it's quite weak. I mean, 0.2x of the damage you've dealt. Although it can be quite a bit, it's not the best, and it's only from striker characters. But overall, there's very good potential. Having another character with this final tap is, of course, a great asset. The first character that had this was the version 2 Straw Hat Legend that came out a few years ago. This character has that exact same final type ability, and it's very, very strong. In terms of his support ability, very good. It allows you to negate a stun, as well as reduce 3 tons of burn on the final stage. And it attaches to a very, very wide variety of units. Marco, all Whitebeard units, Jumbe, and Blackbeard. Just a lot of units that this can work for, so very, very strong. Of course, if you're working with a legend that wants to be at low HP, you can also use it to get their abilities. In terms of Rumble, though, Ace is going to be an attack style unit. He doesn't have any good GP abilities, of course. That's pretty expected for a treasure map legend. Just 1k damage and then a very mid effect. But in terms of his regular Rumble abilities, he is going to be resistant to Special Bind, as well as reducing damage from Dex enemies by 30%. Of course, you want to fight him with Strength. Not Strength. You want to fight him against Dex teams. Now, his Rumble ability is going to be working with Whitebeard Pirate tagged units. So, one of the first characters in the game that is using tags in their Rumble abilities. We've seen this before with the Anniversary Nami that we just got, as well as the God Valley characters. And it definitely restricts your team building and makes the characters that you run on your bench a lot more restrictive. Now, in terms of Rumble, so they want you to have 3 or more Whitebeard Pirate tagged units, including Ace himself. There's really not too many options, guys. Like, there's Power Rumble Roko Jozu. He has his tag. You could use him. But he's a very meh character. He just gives fixed damage that's very weak. And then, like, some defense. But he doesn't really synergize well with this Ace. Anyway, he's a fighter powerhouse character. This Ace works with Strength and Striker. There's really not too many options. The Whitebeard Power Rumble Roko can also work. He's probably the best option to run with this guy. But yeah, the amount of Whitebeard Pirate tag characters in the game just is not enough to make this character actually good. But let's just take a look at what he does anyways. At level 5, he's going to give Strength type and Striker class teammates attack up of level 6 and HP up of level 6. Nice. If 3 or more Whitebeard Pirate tag characters on the crew, including himself, he's going to give himself a shield of level 6 and give himself a special CT speed up of level 3. So his special activates quite quickly if you do have the requirement. Giving himself a shield, I mean, okay, sure buddy, he won't die anytime soon. He will probably use his special as long as it's not getting rewinded, which I mean, could easily happen. CT of 30 seconds, and it's going to target enemies within a large horizontal range for 3.5 times his attack as damage. He targets Strength type and Striker class teammates besides himself with a low current special CT for special CT 50% reduction. It is only one teammate, but that is pretty good. And then if you have 3 or more white power tag units, including himself, then he gives all the enemies a 4,000 total damage over time. So after 15 seconds, a total of 4,000 damage will be dealt to them from damage over time. That is quite strong. I just don't see this character being used though. Like the requirement is too crazy. There's not really any good white power tag characters in Rumble, besides maybe Power Rumble or recruit Whitebeard, and that's not enough because we need 3 tagged units: Ace himself, Whitebeard, and then who else? I mean Jozu, I guess, but who cares, bro? Jozu's trash. Anyways, and the abilities aren't even like that great, if I'm being honest. I didn't see this character being used in Rumble. Regardless, I'd say Ace. This entire batch is so solid, guys. Synergises really well with the Rux Pirates God Valley. I have revolutionary crewmate abilities, especially teachers, bro. Special rewind reduction for your entire crew, as long as you have a full team of Whitebeard power tag units, but like it's still really strong. And their support abilities are so usable and amazing. Ace, just an amazing character, bro. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Very long video, but I had to explain everything in detail. I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe. And let's see how this Ace does in content, especially after his month of debut. I think he's still going to be used after his month of debut. Not in Rumble, but in regular content, I definitely can see it. See you guys in the next one. Peace, and I'm out.